Supreme Court judges in fight as Tinubu plans to do this after forging USA certificate. Hello guys, welcome back once again to this YouTube channel. The Supreme Court of this country, never expected this case to be like this. When Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi took their cases from the Election Petition Tribunal where they gave the rascal judgment by Justice Samani to the Supreme Court judges wanted to uphold the judgment of Justice Samani. They just want to, give the same judgment that Justice Samani gave. But this certificate forgery, and after CSU, being Chicago State University, confirmed that Tinubu, is a certificate forger, that he forged the document that he got from them, that the one he submitted to Inec did not emanate from them, and they did not issue it to Bola Tinubu. The Supreme Court judges have continuously been in fight. They have been fighting and battling themselves. I can boldly tell you this for free because the information we are getting now is quite shocking. Tinubu is trying to do the undoable at the Supreme Court of Nigeria. I'm going to reveal to you and everything the fight that is actually going on. Because a lot of them know that this is going to be a dent to the image of this country. Since the institution that issued the certificate have confirmed under oath, authoritatively, without any ambiguity, that certificate that he submitted to INEC did not emanate from them, that it was forged. And it is as simple as saying that the document is a forged document. So some of the judges there, very soon they will constitute a 7-man panel that is actually going to look into this case of Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar against Bola Tinubu. And now the evidence is more concrete. That is what is scaring them. Well, let me tell you the names of these Supreme Court justices that are actually there that might handle Peter Obi's case and Atiku Abubakar's case against Bola Tinubu. The number one is Olukayode Ariwola, who is the current CJN. As we all know, the current CJN is already in bed with Bola Tinubu. He's actually, trying to do everything. But you know that the Supreme Court is not just only him that will determine the case. There will be a 7-panel of judges that is going to determine this case. And the second one is Musa, as you can see on the screen, Musa Datiju Mohammed. The third one is Kudirat Kekre Ikun. The fourth one is Chima Sentus. Where is it? The fifth one is Amina Agui. The sixth one, Owani Musa Abba Aji. Then the seventh one is Johnny Yangokoro. The last one is Lawa Gaba. Now, amongst these people, many of them are arguing that they don't want to be part of that 7-man panel because they cannot afford to give such a rascal judgment. Tinubu and APC and the federal government have been trying to bribe them. They've been trying to bribe them. They've been trying to give them billions of naira for them to give a rascal judgment. That is why APC is trying to change the narrative that Chicago State University didn't say that Tinubu forged the certificate, when they knew that Chicago State University categorically said it, that Tinubu forged that particular document that he submitted to INEC. Most of these judges don't want to give such rascal judgment because it's going to be a dent to the precedence of the legal institution in this country. I can boldly tell you this for free. A lot of people have started lamenting. A lot of people have started crying out already. You could see some of the posts that we saw on social media. This person said that some judges are scared to be part of the Supreme Court 7-man team that will preside over the presidential election petition appeal, especially after the revelation from Chicago and every issue that surrounds the petition, the 25% in FCT, the forfeiture, INEC's non-compliance with the Electoral Act and invalid nomination and eligibility. So you could see that there is fire on the mountain. Tinubu have been fighting tooth and nail to ensure that he bribes the Supreme Court, which is the apex and the highest court we have in this country. It will be a very bad thing to this country that the president is ruling us with a false document and a false certificate. The Supreme Court justices should know that if they don't disqualify Tinubu, that Nigeria, is bound to lose a whole lot of things, because the United States of America have commenced an official criminal investigation into the reason why Tinubu forged this document. If at the end of the day they discover that this man, Bola Tinubu, stole the identity of somebody, because there is every possibility that Tinubu stole the identity of somebody in that Chicago State University and obtained the certificate of that person after he changed his name from Amoda to Bola Tinubu. Remember, the owner of the Bola Tinubu is a female and was born in 1954. So it is better for the Supreme Court to disqualify this man now, because after the conclusion of the criminal investigation that the United States and the FBI are making concerning Bola Tinubu and the Chicago State University, it can dent this country, dent the image of this country. Because if they discover, at the end of the day, if the Supreme Court fails to disqualify him and the United States discover that Tinubu stole the identity of somebody, they will caution him, they will sanction him, and they will cut off all bilateral relationship between the United States and Nigeria. And apart from that, the European Union will cut off any relationship they have with this country, because if you have a certificate forger and an identity thief as your number one citizen, the United Nations and the EU cannot relate or probably have any meaningful conversation or business deal with such person. And this is going to affect us. It is not all about Bola Tinubu. This is one fact that a lot of people have failed to understand. That this whole entire quagmire is not all about Bola Tinubu. It is about the whole country. It is about the whole country and how this country will actually be treated in the international communities and in the helm of affairs of our bilateral and the foreign policies and everything. Now, some judges, Supreme Court judges are saying, I will not be part of this team because they know that if they agree to be part of this team, that the presidency is ready to offer them billions of dollars for them to give a crook judgment. When it is clear that according to Section 137 IJ, that if anybody on earth has submitted a forged document to Inec, the person is imminently disqualified, should be immediately disqualified. And it is clearly stipulated and stated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So most of them don't want to go and give a rascal judgment because they will be held responsible for what they did and for actually allowing a president who has no document, who has no certificate of his educational qualification to rule this country for 4 years. Remember, Tinubu cannot go and retrieve the document, the forged document submitted to Inec. No. And this is one fact the Supreme Court should understand. That if you allow this man to continue ruling on, that means he is ruling this nation with forged documents, which is the only document he submitted to Inec as his educational or academic qualification. So there is almost more to gain to disqualify Tinubu than what to lose, allowing him to stay there. And it is going, like I've said, I've told you guys that a whole lot of nations will cut off their bilateral relationship with this country if Tinubu is not being disqualified. And at the end of the day, investigations will commence. This is the same man who was caught peddling drugs and everything, and he was made to forfeit $460,000 to the United States government. And how can you allow such person who has a criminal record, who is drug related, even this month, before this month's end, in the next 1 week or thereabout, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, being the FBI, are preparing to release his criminal records. And how will the whole world see us after knowing the criminal things that Bola Tinubu committed in the United States soil? How will the United States be having any form of relationship with Tinubu? It's not working. If you all remember, after the United Nations General Assembly, Tinubu wanted to meet Joe Biden, but Biden, ignored him and told him not to come close to the White House because they've heard a lot of things about him. Because the United States intelligence have given Biden that this man is not who he is, that he has been in criminal record. He has criminal records with the United States and has committed a lot of atrocities in the country. So the Supreme Court has the responsibility. It's a must that they should disqualify him. It's not even optional. It's to uphold the integrity of this nation. So whoever, if they let them keep running away, they should be brave enough to accept being in the 7-man panel list that will hold a judgment and reject Tinubu's bribery and rule the right thing, which is according to the Constitution.